First up, Dead or Alive Dimensions. Now, I know that there's a little sticker there, and please try to ignore it. I try to get rid of these stupid stickers, but sometimes they're on there real good, and you go picking at it, and they just ruin the case. I hate these stickers. There has to be a better way. In fact, GameStop, let me help you. Let me help you do this. Let's say you get a little sleeve, right, with a price tag, and you open this up, and right there, how this little thing, see how it pulls away? You could put it in there and close it. Bam! See, now it would be on the inside right here, and that would be that. I don't know why you guys can't figure that out. And I really shouldn't be blaming you either, because I realize that everybody has their job and everybody has things that they're supposed to do, and you're probably told to do this, but man, if you could do me a favor, please talk to the higher-ups, please talk to the guys that make your rules. It doesn't make sense to do this. I'm a collector, and I hate stickers. I hate them on my movie boxes. I hate them on these. If nothing else, if you're going to throw a bunch of stickers on, get some sort of stickers that don't stick, or don't put them on this. Every game should have a cardboard sleeve or something. I don't know. I don't know how to fix this problem, but please find a way to fix this problem. I hate these stickers. Now let's move back into my collection. I'm sorry that I had a little rant there. Did you like Final Fantasy Tactics? While this idea seems ridiculous, whoever's idea it was to give Nobunaga a shiny Rayquaza and say, what if Pokemon were on a grid? Awesome idea. I'm probably hyping this up a little too much, and it's probably getting more difficult by the day to come across this, but it's unique and it's fun, and it opens up the door for something else. Even though I'm not 100% happy with the whole, you know, going around in kingdoms and destroying dynasties, and it made the whole thing a little too lighthearted. And where there's a plus to this is here. I would like to see this engine put into a Pokemon game. I want to be a kid, like a remake of Red and Blue, Red and Blue Conquest. And the idea would be that you're red, you start the game, you get your, say, Bulbasaur. You walk out into the grass, if you come across a random encounter, it's like, pew, and it takes you into a grid thing, and, you know, there's maybe a Pidgey, or something like a Pidgey, or then like a Sparrow and whatnot, and you're down here, and you gotta be like, do, and it plays like Final Fantasy Tactics, but it still works on the same Pokemon principles that we're used to. So your character still acts the same way, you just control the movement. So you move up, and say Vine Whip does so many spaces or an area, and that idea, it's done really well. It's super enjoyable. I think you guys would really like Conquest, but I really think that there's another opportunity here aside from Conquest. Conquest would give us all a chance to get into the game, and I really think if you haven't played it, you're doing yourself a bit of an injustice. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll love it. And the best way I can say is that if this is one of those games that kind of continues and gets a little more things like the Mystery Dungeon, I want to see a Pokemon game where, like, okay, you get to Misty's gym, and if you don't have water Pokemon, you're going to have to stand on, like, these rafts, and her people are in the water, of course. And this also adds a whole new structure to the game, that when you go to an area that doesn't have water, or something like that, you throw out a Goldeen and he's flopping on the ground, he's not going to be much help to you. So you got to watch out for that type of stuff. You're going to take a water guy into like a fire gym, but you don't have anywhere to swim, it's going to be more difficult. So you need to better adjust your water guys. Like, train your Magikarp in an area till he becomes the flying Gyarados, and then he can fly up in that gym and be like, take that, you're dead. So that's pretty sweet. I really think this would have massive potential, but I've heard that they've already given up on the concept. So, Pokemon fans, try this game. Try it out. Let me know what you think. If you've already tried it, if I'm over-exaggerating, whatever, let me know in the section below. I think this could make an awesome Pokemon game. Think about it. The gyms could be like, the rules are 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 or single Pokemon, 1 versus 1. Who can top my, you know, Magmar, this thing. Man, this could be awesome. It just needs to be done. Pokemon Gale of Darkness. This was the second Coliseum game. And though people will tell you, and I was one of these people until I actually sat down to play it, that you can catch wild Pokemon in this game, no, you can't. There is wild zones where you can kind of put down a trap type of thing, or like a bait, and then you can leave, and there's an alarm system that'll tell you that the Pokemon has appeared there. But then that's really nerve-wracking because you're in the middle of doing something else, like going through a bad guy's base or something, and you're just about to go upstairs, and the alarm goes off, and you gotta leave, and you gotta travel all the way over to this thing, and then you gotta fight that Pokemon, and he appears and he's like level 5 or 10, and that's worthless because all your guys are in your 30s or 40s, and you can't even fight the guy to weaken him. You just gotta keep throwing great balls and hoping that you don't waste all your money trying to catch one guy. That's pretty much ridiculous. Like, the first 5 times I went there, I just kept seeing Zubats, so who cares? You may as well just catch the dark Pokemon and play the game just like Coliseum, which is not a bad thing. The only thing I could say is that the atmosphere of the game is toned down. It's almost like, I don't want to sound ridiculous, but the only thing I could think is that some parent seen some kid playing Pokemon in a darker universe and was like, oh well, Pokemon's going downhill. I don't know. I can't explain what happened. Like, Wes is not there, nor do you really hear about him. You get some little kid, and he's like a way geeky looking little. You get this guy. Who wants to be that guy? X-Men Legends. The reason I like X-Men Legends was not because it's X-Men, not because it had a good story, not because it was comic books, not because it was a great game. It's because it was a throwback to something I'd been craving for years. Games like Final Fight, Streets of Rage, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the side-scrolling beat-em-up was dead. And this game took the beat-em-up aspect and played it in a whole new way. They gave it in an RPG sense where I could level up, while at the same time, every moron that was dumb enough to walk down the same side of the street as me got their asses kicked. And that is where this game shines. You get a whole bunch of X-Men, you can customize your team, you can customize every single character, everything from costumes to the different materials that they have on them to the different moves that you allow them to use. I mean, if you want a Jean Grey that never flies but has maxed out psionic energy, then do it. If you want a Storm that just flies in the air forever and never has to come down to fight with everybody else, then do it. That's the way you want to level up. That's the way you level up. And that's what makes this game unique, is also that their powers combined to create more powerful attacks. Like, if Cyclops shoots a laser at the exact same time that Storm Flying does a lightning bolt, and they hit at the same time, you get a combo move, which creates a new type of attack that does more major damage. And the story in this was great. It was really enjoyable. I played it through like 5 times before I moved on to the next game, so it really was a big deal to me. Resident Evil. This blew me away. It wasn't enough that Resident Evil already was a great game, but this just took it a step further. 2 discs, a great game with graphics that rivaled what we were seeing on the Xbox at the time, and that is a credit to the GameCube, because the GameCube was considered to be the weakest of the systems, and as far as I'm concerned, Code Veronica X came out for the PlayStation 2, and this looked better. Not only was it a remake of the best Resident Evil that we played in terms of scare value, and I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it was the first time we'd really had that experience, but regardless, this gave me everything I needed to go back to the series. 1, it was Resident Evil 1 and it looked great. 2, it still had the same experience that I'd played before, but 3, it added on top of what was already a great foundation and gave me even more to play with, to the point where if I go back to play Resident Evil 1, even if it's the director's cut, it's not as enjoyable as simply playing it on my GameCube. So Resident Evil 1 for the GameCube is a win, hands down.